defenseman on that side. You wonder if the Soviets are trying to exploit that area.
Al McInnes banished for the night for cross-checking a major penalty. Coffey centering it through. Near boards, Desjardins shooting, quick reaction, rebound there off Stalikov, and nobody could get it. Kurilev got turned away. Fleury overskates the puck. Now Kovalenko. Kovalenko is taken down. There's no penalty on the play. Fleury forechecking for Canada here, gets the puck on the left side. He's got Messier with him, leaves it for Messier, goes to the net, and the sharp angle shot is blocked by Stalikov. It remains a 2-2 tie past the 10-minute mark from Quebec. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
What some people won't do for the most refreshing taste on earth. Always keep plenty of Coca-Cola Classic on ice. You never know who'll drop in.
Well, number 88 was certainly awake to get Canada's first goal tonight. You never accuse Eric of sleeping through this one. Alert at all times on this night in this town. It's been a rough weekend for him here.
It's one of those sneaky signs. You get it up, and then they roll it away. You know, they just sort of sneak it up for a few seconds, and they put it down and roll it up.
Malikov for the Soviet Union, leaving it there. Shot by Murphy, blocked by the defense. And the Soviets clear. They come out 2-on-2. Lomakin has got Semyak with him. Brings it in. Lomakin gets turned around by Smith in behind and taken down finally in the Team Canada corner. A little over 9 minutes to go in a 2-2 tie. And again, yes, the tie will benefit Team Canada in their quest to finish in first place and go on to play Sweden in the semifinals. Here's a shot from the point. Great stop in front by Ranford out Malikov. Malikov does it all for the Soviet Union.
Bill Ranford talked about Malahov's shot. You can see an example of it on that last play.
Armour gets bumped coming in. Corson carries on. He gets turned around. Can't make the play. The Soviets bring it back out again. On the right side, Galchenyuk. He got tied up. Prokhorov couldn't get to it. Back to the neutral zone it comes. 8:45 to go in the hockey game. Corson shoots it in, and both teams will change. The pace, the pattern, the tempo a little better here in this third period, certainly than the second period. Down the right side for the Soviets. Breaking down there was Fedorov. He got shut out. Bouncing puck in front, and it's grabbed by Billy Ranford.
Scott Stevens getting a shift on right defense during this play to try and rest Desjardins and Murphy.
Well, we remind you to be sure to stay tuned right after the game for the Butterball Canada Cup game highlight. Butterball, when only the best will do.
Butterball Turkey Franks. Now there's something you can sink your teeth into. They're downright delicious and nutritious. The chuck wagon treat round my campfire.
How does Bill Clement get to do that with his voice? It's gotta hurt.
Pretty good save by Ranford, reading the play as he sneaks over and grabs a loose puck. Soviets having a strong shift to keep the same unit of 5 on the ice.
Fedorov on the draw for the Soviet Union against Sutter. Sutter, one of the great face-off men in the National Hockey League, and Team Canada has possession in their own zone. A little over 8 minutes remaining now in the hockey game. They're tied at 2. Soviets have twice taken the lead. Canada's twice come back to pull even. Sutter now works against Fedorov, and Graham fires it inside the Soviet zone on the delayed offside. It's a free trip out for Kozlov. Now the long lead pass ahead at center ice finds it. Kozlov tries to drop it off for Prokhorov. Goes into the corner against Coffey. Prokhorov helps out. Comes up with a puck. Centers it out across Ranford's crease. He just deflects that out of harm's way, and it's back to center ice.
Soviets trying to put everything towards Ranford. Bad angle shots and everything, and that's out of character for them if you think of years past. They used to try and just set up with a good shot.
Hyderov takes it in. Kovalenko also in the corner and behind the net. Desjardins for Canada. Courtnall. Gusarov against him. Now Howard-Chuck tries to send Lindros away. Pulls his way past the Soviet defender to Courtnall. chance right there for Team Canada.
What a play by Lindros to pull his way through and then read the play at the same time to set up Russ Courtnall.
Eric Desjardins for Canada. Ahead to Smith now. Lindros pulling his way in against Gusarov again. Unsuccessful this time. The Soviets respond. Semak with it. Buys his centering pass broken up. Big shot in front. Here's a chance. They score. It is Semak putting it in for the Soviet Union. They take the lead for the third time.
Courtnall had a great scoring chance during this shift and missed the net. The Soviets, a few seconds later, take advantage of a puck that changes direction. Very similar to the play that Canada scored on the power play. You'll see the puck get moved back, and Tatarnov kind of fans on it, but Semak read the play, and did he ever keep his concentration level high? Semak drops it back, and it goes to the net. Reads where the puck is deflected, and not a clean shot, but he controlled it. And there you see Bill Ranford committing himself, Semak taking care of it, and it's 3-2 USSR.
Alexander Semak makes it 3-2 for the Soviet Union. About 6 minutes and 40 seconds left now for Team Canada to respond. Robitaille into his own zone now. Through it across the net, gave it away to Semak again. He almost had a second great scoring opportunity. Fleury gets it ahead to center ice. Soviets with the lead, doing a nice job of forechecking and keeping Canada thrown into the ice.
They're only sending one man in and everybody back in the neutral zone. It's called a 1-4 forecheck with the lead here.
Number 16, Galchenyuk at the blue line, is headed off there. Fleury looks for the fast break. Robitaille will carry on from Messier at the blue line. It's offside there, and Robitaille couldn't get it across in time. 3-2 for the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Bic Regular, a great shave at a great price.
I'm a big man.
Bic Sensitive, Bic Baby's tender skin. Bic Metal, slim head.
Amazing story of this Labatt Canada Cup 1991. First a tie with Team Canada, some shocking upsets, and now this for the U.S. tonight. Here's a quick shot from the side by Fedorov. That's blocked by Billy Ranford. Less than 6 minutes remaining with a 3-2 Soviet lead here in Quebec City. Kozlov shoots it back in. Larmer, rink wide to Gretzky at center ice. Across the line they go. Coffey steered off to the far boards. Shoots it in behind. Here's the attempt now by Corson, banging away on the doorstep of Stalnikov to no avail.
Stalnikov knew that if Corson tried the wraparound, it's very doubtful he could get the puck upstairs from in tight. So the goaltender drops down, puts the shaft of his stick across the ice surface, and just takes away the bottom of the net on the short side. See the goaltender down? Look at the shaft of the stick. There's no way Corson could put it under. And when you come around on that play, Don, it's very difficult to put the puck up. Very hard to do because you're reaching when you wrap around. Good effort by Shane Corson. Gretzky was on the ice for that shift, and he had Paul Coffey as a defenseman on the shift. And I think you'll see a lot of that throughout the rest of the period here to try and get offense coming from behind when Wayne Gretzky has the puck.
Kovalenko against Sutter.
Both players tossed out. Graham and Tocchet on the wings. Neither one natural centerman.
Tocchet will take it now against the Soviets, but say it. Tocchet wins that. Graham, quick shot. Turned back by Stalnikov.
There's a secret weapon with Tocchet. Nice play. And a good save once again. I think we've talked quite a bit about how well Ranford has played. Stelnikov for the Soviet Union has played very well as the Canadians test him here.
Soviets had to ice it quickly, so another face-off, this time to Stelnikov's right.
Smile on Tocchet's face.
Well, Sutter is back to his normal task here. Still fencing with Kovalenko. Gets it back for Smith. Screen shot, rebound.
tenacious, isn't he? Brent Sutter was in the face-off circle. The Soviet player cheating. Sutter beats him and then goes right to the net. Tataranoff, who lets a man go for the second time in the third period, lets Sutter go. Now the centerman goes right out to the point, leaving Tataranoff to set up Sutter, or hold up Sutter. He doesn't. Sutter had all kinds of room, and did he ever put it behind the goaltender in a sharp fashion? Tataranoff, Don, looked like he tried to jump to get out of the way of the shot from the point and forgot about Brent Sutter. The tenacious Sutter ties this thing up.
Hard to believe it's his first goal. It is his first point of the Canada Cup.
Yeah, he gives you more than points, though, game after game. The tenacity, the face-offs, and the checking.
He's given Canada a tie at this stage with now 5 minutes remaining. But Sutter makes it 3-3. Tommy, the blue line for the Soviets, got turned around, and here's number 37, Desjardins. Paul Coffey with it. Robitaille with Messier right in front for Fleury, and a great stop as Stalikov cut off Theo Fleury. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. John Davidson at either end tonight.
Robitaille has played pretty well. He's been around the net a lot, and he's made some nice passing plays. And another player who's played well is Theo Fleury. He drove to the net. No one picked him up, and Stelenkov had to come across and rob Fleury.
Here's Stevens now playing it for Gretzky. In front, Corson couldn't get the shot off. He was marked closely by the Soviet defender. Corson on the boards. They keep it in. Down to the corner, Fedorov for the Soviet Union. Gretzky against Kazatona. And it's shot up in among the spectators with 4:23 remaining.
Don, in Canada, in the National Hockey League, centermen, when they lose a draw, tie the other centerman up. Here the Soviet Union do something different. Gretzky won the draw, but the Soviet center went out with the puck to the point man, and the defenseman is then supposed to hold up Wayne Gretzky. It's a different style. Watch Gretzky win the draw, and the centerman head out. Now Gretzky's all by himself. I mean, that's bad defensive play. Absolutely bad defensive play, and the Soviets are very lucky that the puck didn't get into Gretzky.
Still 3-3, 4:23 to go. The way things stand right now, the scores don't change here in Chicago, and then it almost changed right there in that quick shot by Desjardins. Canada will finish first. And play the fourth-place team, Sweden. The Swedes knocking off Czechoslovakia today in their final game. Soviets and the Czechs will not be in the playoff round. Here's Sutter. He has just tied this game minutes ago, but it's whistled down at the blue line.
Team Canada tried to dump the play in and got caught on the offside. Sutter did some rooming with Lindros earlier in the Canada Cup. One thing about rooming with a Sutter, you talk hockey about 22 hours a day and sleep for a couple of the other hours. As of right now, Mark Messier has been rooming with Lindros, trying to get Lindros through this situation in Quebec City, and it has been a bit of a bust here from what we all expected. Very, very quiet crowd. Very quiet.
Showing a lot of class.
Absolutely.
Oh, great chance for the Soviets there, but Sayev falling as he crossed the blue line. Carrying on was Heiderov, and smothering it is Landry.
An error to the left defenseman, Steve Smith, with a catching glove. Little problem. Mike Keenan changing both the forwards and defense, and that's a late change. What's happened there is Mike Keenan was yelling when he puts his hand up, that's when he wants his change. He's talking about the referee, Paul Stewart. What happens is the Soviet Union is the home team, I believe, so Mike Keenan got the matchup here that he wants. He got players on the ice, and the Soviet Union cannot change anymore.
They have Batsayev on the draw against Corson. Corson wins it, digs it back for Desjardins. Team Canada being pressed out by the Soviets. Heidarov has it, centers it out. Good quick reaction there by Paul Coffey, turns it to the blue line, and now Team Canada will bring it out. Corson being watched closely by Batsayev. Tatarinov with it, Gretzky, and it's forced out over the blue line to center ice. 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the game. Remember, there's no overtime. 3-3 is the score. Larmer, rink wide, can't find Gretzky. Kovalenko. He'll try the right side. Gets a mild bump there from Larmer going in. The puck winds up on the near boards on the stick of Desjardins. For Coffey, threading his way through with Corson, back to Gretzky, and it's whistled down at the blue line of the Soviet Union. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CT.
Commercial. Mike Keenan went down to the other end of the bench, put his arms around Desjardins and Coffey, and here he's trying to really motivate his players. He's asking for his defense to hang in there. They're going with 5 in what's been a tough game. The Soviets have played well, and going with 5 defensemen for a long period of time can be very tough.
He should miss it. That's not by choice. Al McKinnis got a match penalty, and Canada's been forced to go with 5 defensemen. Down at the blue line, the Soviet player Mironov getting through, getting a chance to get the shot away, and Ranford denies him. Smith ties the Soviet attacker up, still loose in the zone. Now they get it back to center ice. Malakoff playing without a helmet out there. 2.5 minutes remaining. Will Team Canada be satisfied with a tie? Will the Soviets settle for a tie in this, their final Canada Cup appearance this year? 3-3 with 2:25 to go.
You know, when you hear the Soviets talk about this team of their 23 players, 13 of them have played against Dave King and the Canadian national team in games in Canada, in smaller cities and larger cities. And when you hear the Soviets talk about, oh, not very much experience on this team and smaller ice surfaces causing a problem, that's not true. This team is a lot more experienced than you think, and they played a lot more on smaller ice surfaces than you think.
Sutter lining up in the face-off against Fedorov. Soviets win it this time. But Tocchet intercepts the blue line, pokes it inside the blue line, but cleared quickly by the USSR. 2:15 to go now in the third period. Coffey touching it, and they'll bring it back for a face-off.
Well, gentlemen, the Americans and the Finnish team now tied at 3. About 4 minutes left in the third period. This very well could be a preview to Wednesday night semifinal in Copps Coliseum in Hamilton.
Yes, Canada scheduled for the second semifinal if they finish in first place. That will be against Sweden. The Swedes nailing down the 4th position today.
Swedes will be tough. They tested Bill Ranford a lot in that original game between the two clubs. Ranford was great, but the Swedes are without Ulf Samuelsson, who was injured. He's a gutsy defenseman.
Desjardins lets that shot go wide. Kozlov around to the near side. Gets some help with Krafcheck now. And it's out to center ice. Face-off will ensue here with exactly 2 minutes remaining in that Canada-Sweden game in the round robin. The final was 4-1 for Team Canada. They got the jump quickly. Bill Ranford lost his shutout there with exactly 2 minutes to go on the hockey game. He was outstanding that night.
This is the 5th Canada Cup for Viktor Tikhonov, and he will be heading out with the hockey club back over to the Soviet Union.
Back to a very much changed USSR.
He was a defenseman at one time when he was younger, playing for the Red Army. You know, another thing, you know, Don, the Red Army doesn't supply as many players as it used to, and maybe the discipline has changed a little bit because of that.
As it tone off, can't clear. Murphy, a weak shot, is deflected on the doorstep of Stalenkov. Minute 45 to go. Here's a breakdown. Here is Prokop going in, and he's robbed at point-blank range by Billy Ranford. A tremendous save as Ranford held his ground. Graham, Tocchet trying to get it across to Sutter. And to when they go here in a bid to break this 3-3 tie, Graham gets it out, picked up with the Soviets' Kozlov. As a tone-off trailing on the play. With Fedorov, rolls into the corner. Canada comes down to pick it up. And ahead they come. Center ice, a little over a minute to go. Howardchuk drives into the Soviet zone as they change on the fly. Eric Lindros comes on the ice now, bats it down, gets a shot in front to Tocchet. Down they go, and it's cleared for the USSR with less than a minute to go. Desjardins to Coffey. Wild pass to Howardchuk. Now Lindros trying to get onside as Howardchuk, and Lindros is forced back, shoots it to the blue line, but not beyond. 40 seconds to go now. Soviets with a slap shot. That's deflected up into the crowd. 37 seconds left. Let's go to Rod Black.
And Don, it in Chicago. The Americans have now taken the lead late in the third period. Pat LaFontaine will beat Jarmo Myllys in net tonight for Team Finland. 4-3, the United States lead with the time running down in Chicago Stadium.
Very interesting. As that goal was scored, this was happening. In a tie game, a breakaway in which Bill Ranford stood his ground and made the save. If Ranford gets beat, it could have meant first place in the tournament. A huge, huge, huge save for Bill Ranford and Team Canada.
If they stay the way they are these two games, the projection is that Canada with a tie would have 8 points, the U.S. with a win would have 8, but Canada on goals for and against would be given first place. Now, a team timeout is called by Viktor Tikhonov of the Soviet Union with 37 seconds to go. He wants a huddle.
Timeout called. Soviet Union. I guess we could say they're going for the win.
They're going for all they can get in what has been a very dismal Event Canada Cup for them.
Nobody gets behind you. Come on, Billy, you're sharp, Billy. Come on, lad. Hey, boys, come on, here.
Interesting comment by Brian Sutter talking to his defenseman, saying nobody gets behind as the Soviet Union try the cherry-picking play, the breakaway play, and it's worked a couple of times here. Once, which resulted in a penalty shot, which they did not score on, and the other time Ranford just recently making the big save. Canada, too, playing to win it, Don, with Larmer and Gretzky on the ice, along with Paul Coffey. 37 seconds left.
Galchenyuk on the face-off of the Soviet Union, forced to the blue line and back to center ice by Larmer. 30 seconds exactly remaining. Corson finds it behind him and skates to the left boards and squeezes it inside the Soviet blue line. Past Larmer comes the clearing pass, shot back in directly on Steinikov. That would have been blown down anyway on the offside with 21 seconds to play.
Shots in this game, 36 for Canada, 34 for the Soviet Union.
Great goaltending from Bill Ranford and Mikhail Steinikov.
Now, right now, the referee, Paul Stewart, is being talked to by the Soviets. Fedorov must be able to speak some English. And Paul Stewart called over, I believe, the assistant captain, Paul Coffey, to tell a Canadian something. I don't know if they were unhappy that the clock ticked away or didn't. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Shows 21 seconds of time remaining. Fedorov communicates that to Tikhonov, and they're satisfied now. We're going to resume play. Fedorov on the draw against Gretzky. It's at the blue line for Kravchuk. 15 seconds left now. Gets caught in Corson's equipment with 14 to go.
Face-off alignment's very important here with 14 seconds left, as one team or the other will go for the long bomb.
Gretzky gets it for Larmer. Slides it inside the line. 8 seconds to go now. Desjardins, one last chance they look for, but Fedorov brings it out. 2 seconds to go. He's tied up across the line, turned back, and it's going to be a 3-3 tie between Team Canada and the USSR this night at Le Colisée in Quebec City.
And Billy Ranford with another fine game. Both goaltenders were strong in this game. There were 70 shots amongst the two teams, 6 goals. I thought the Soviets played very well, maybe their best game of the tournament. And Team Canada battled back 3 different times to tie it. It should set up the playoffs, and it could be fun.
Well, with the tie, Team Canada is assured now, despite the United States lead over Finland late in the game in Chicago, of a first-place finish and a semifinal date with Sweden, while the United States and Finland will get to do it all over again. Tonight turns out to be a preview of what their semifinal game is going to be. And that'll be on Wednesday night to start the Canada Cup semifinals, Wednesday and Thursday, right here in CT.